1967 Chevelle in my favorite color with a 502. And it's a 4-speed. Really can't get much better than that. Beautiful car. Oh, and take note, guys. Take note. This is how a door should shut on a GM car. It should be like butter. Oh, didn't quite get it. That's beautiful. Welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. Today I'm working on a 1967 Chevelle SS. This is a 4-speed. Big loud trucks. This is a 4-speed 502 car. Very, very nicely done restoration. The paint on this is a beautiful shade of blue, and it's a semi-metallic, so it really sparkles in the sun. I gotta love the bumpy hoods. I do like the SS hoods, even though they don't do anything for the car other than look good. I do like those. My uncle Harold actually had a '67 El Camino with this hood and this color back when I was a youth. So this car has a special place in my heart. At any rate, I'm gonna give this thing a street alignment. It's a street bruiser and a cruiser. So let's get this thing on the rack, get it set up, and see what we need to do with it. It's running radial tires, so I'm probably going to increase the caster. And I'm going to lean the camber in a little bit because the tires are rubbing against the fender wells because he's got it a little bit too low. It's actually not too low, but the tires are a little bit too big for this level of low for a static setup. So we're going to try and lean the tires in a little bit so we can get a little bit more space in between the bolts that hold the inner fender well in and the tires. Other than that, should be pretty straightforward alignment. That's a really good way to start my day. The test drive is going to be amazing. The fender in the parking lot. I can't imagine what it does over bumps on the freeway. Dead sexy. Oh yeah. Gotta clean your pants, Dave. Sorry. This is gonna need all the shims. doors shut so clean on this car. That's all over the place. So when I'm done with this alignment, nothing will be in the green, but that's because I'm setting it up for radial tires. This car has alignment specs for bias ply tires, which they had almost no caster and they had positive camber. So I like to set these cars up with a ½ degree negative camber and as much caster as I can put into them. I'll be lucky to get 2 degrees of caster and negative ½ degree camber, but my cambers are positive, which is one of the reasons I'm rubbing the fenders. So if I take my camber negative, it's going to lean the top of the tire in and give me a little more clearance. Another problem with these cars is that when the suspension jounces, the geometry actually goes camber positive. So a longer upper ball joint on this car would create better camber gain in turns. So the upper ball joint would create negative camber increasing and when the nose dips in a turn or the suspension drops. So I'll probably talk to him about doing a taller upper ball joint for performance enhancements, because clearly this is a driven car. But those are things that we can overcome. I'm going to overcome what I can with it now, and then if he chooses to do taller upper ball joints, we'll do those, and it'll just be a matter of making some finite adjustments. And the toe's like horribly towed out, so this thing probably is hunting for the ditch. Let's start with slinging some shims and then we'll go from there. Actually, take an eyeball under this thing. Ooh, I take that back. This has tall forged knuckles, so it does not need extended ball joints. This thing has been set up with all new suspension components. Nobody told me that. But it has tall knuckles, all new suspension components, new ball joints, new upper ball joints, all new rod ends. So, and it has a tight ratio gearbox as well, because I could feel that when I pulled it around. Looks like it's got the short steering arms on it too. This is going to be a fun car. Let me sling some shims. Surprised it doesn't have the stiffeners in it. It does have the frame ties on it. That's important. I'll have to ask him if he wants me to put the lower control arm. They make braces that you can weld into these to stiffen them up the way that they're supposed to be done. Oh, he's thinking about beating on it. Got a drive shaft hoop on it. So it has actually quite a few nice bits. It looks like the Speedway Motors knuckles with improved geometry, so it raises where the ball joint is on the upper. That increases our increases negative camber on as the suspension droops, so it'll dig more. It's an excellent modification, and it's a 2-inch drop spindle. So. Alright, so my camber and caster are within 1/10, and my toe's just towed in 2/10 of a degree, which is perfect for modern stuff. Not the way they wanted it back then, but that's okay. This isn't back then, this is today. So I'm going to try and get a little more negative camber. I don't think I'm going to probably run out of room for more caster, but I definitely want more camber in this situation. So one of the reasons that causes, or one of the things that causes technicians headaches out here on old cars is people use the wrong components and put the car back together. So this front suspension, the upper control arms were put on with grade 8 bolts and nuts with lock washers. And that's fine until the alignment guy gets to it and tries to align it, because there's not really good access to the head of the bolt. The bolts on these have a knurl at the back of it that clamps into the frame so that you can turn the mechanically locking nut that's supposed to be on there on and off to change your shims. When you just put a bolt through there, the bolt spins and it knocks the shims off, and it creates a lot more hassle to do a simple shim switch. So I just fought with that for a while. Finally, I ended up having another technician hold the nut from underneath the car, which, you know, then you've got two guys working on a job that should only be one guy, and you know, you're disrupting the other technician's work. So it's frustrating when the wrong parts are put in the cars. So there are specific bolts that hold your upper control arms on. They are knurled, and the knurl locks them into the frame so that one guy can do an alignment efficiently. Efficiently is the word. Anyway, I got a re-sweep caster. I think I've got everything as far as I can take it with this setup. It does have new lower control arms. The upper control arms appear to be original units with original bushings in it. So the only thing that hasn't been replaced on this car in the suspension appears to be the upper control arm bushings. Everything else is new with the taller knuckles, so should be really nice. Let me sweep caster, and we should be within tenths. Well, I got a full degree of caster on both sides within 2/10. My camber is -0.1 degree, and I'm out of caster adjustment on this side, so that's as good as we're going to get it. It should handle nice and clean compared to what it was. I'm going to toe, give myself a little more toe in, and she'll be ready to roll. Well, that wraps up this session on the alignment rack with this 1967 Chevelle. Very nice car. 502 4-speed. I highly recommend that combination. That is a pleasure to drive. Definitely a good combination. Fenders are still rubbing against the tires. He's probably going to have to go to a smaller aspect ratio or a little bit shorter tire in the front. Even though it looks amazing, the other choice is to clearance the front inner fender wells, basically, you know, fender roll it, whatever. That's his choice. From here, the alignment is spot on. It's going to handle wonderfully. Great car. Thanks for coming along for the ride. We will see you on the next one. I don't know what that's going to be, but it should be entertaining. If not, it'll be educational. You guys have a great day. See ya.